Assalamualaikum, a very good morning. Today I would like to talk about the chapter on the fundamental of rotating machine with doubly excited system. Doubly excited system. What does mean doubly? Doubly mean in that system we have two kind of winding. First we can say that stator winding, the second is rotor winding. So we can have current in the stator winding, we call it IS, which is stationary part, and we got current in the secondary part, which is IR, right? So this is a basic diagram that we can use to explain about the doubly excited system, where the theta is the angle between the stator magnetic axis and rotor magnetic axis. It's a theta, and omega represent the angular velocity of the rotor speed, which is in radian per second. Okay. Okay, we know that the energy stored in this magnetic circuit is contributed by the IS and also IR. So where the differential energy dWF equal to ESIS dt plus ERIR dt, or it can be said that equal to IS d lambda S, flat linkage of stator IR d lambda. And we know that the lambda S equal to flat linkage in the stator part, which can be represented by LLSIS plus LSIR, where LSS is the self-inductance of the stator part, and LSI is the mutual inductance of the stator part. And lambda R equal to LRS, which is mutual inductance of the stator part plus self-inductance of the rotor. So if we substitute these two equations in this differential of stored energy, we can have this one. And also elaborated like this one, dWs equal to LSIS DIS plus LRIR DIR and plus this one, right? And the equation for the stored energy in this W system is given by this one. Right? So energy stored equal to integration of LLS integrate of IS DLS plus integration of IR DR multiply LR and plus this one. When we integrate IS, we got IS squared over 2 LLS plus IR squared over 2 LR plus LSR IRR. And we know that in the linear system, the energy equal to core energy, which is WF prime equal to WF. And then we can find torque by differentiate partial derivative of core energy. Yeah? So since we assume that omega WF prime equal to omega WF, we just substitute this formula to this one. So we differentiate this partial derivative of core energy with respect to theta. And then we find this torque equation. Okay, torque equal to half IS squared differentiate of LS over d theta plus I2 squared IR squared over 2 dLRR over d theta plus ISIR dLSR over d theta, where the first two term we call it the reluctant torque, and the second call it the alignment torque. So we see that here, based on this equation, the torque is contributed by source current, distributed by the IR rotor current, and combination of these two. So if we can find the inductance in that particular system, then we also know that if the inductance is fixed, that means there is no torque produced by this particular part. Okay, now we go to the example for detailed insight what actually happened there. I go direct to the okay. So this equation for the general machine, for the torque for the general machine. So now it depends on the machine structure or machine. For example, in silent pole rotor, like this one, in silent pole rotor, so we can have depending on whether we in current or not in that particular thing. If we have ISIR, then maybe we can have this term already for the torque generation. Okay, but if we just inject IS only, for example, so the second term and third term will be 0. So it depending on the system. Now this is a general equation for the torque generated in the silent pole machine. Okay. Now we go into the torque roughly on the cylindrical machine. As you know, that cylindrical machine produce more power and more torque. So in order to get more power, more torque, then definitely we use cylindrical machine. So in the cylindrical machine, the structure is like that. You can see that you got stator and rotor, where we have stator winding and we got rotor winding there. The axis between these two part will give you theta. Theta is the difference between stator axis and rotor axis. Okay, so if you see this structure, basically, whenever the rotor change, the rotor position change, the LSS, the uniform is, the air gap uniform is fixed, right? It has the uniform air gap. That means whenever it change, LSS and LR will be 0. So LLS and LR will not be affected by the changing of theta. So we have fixed LSS and LR. So basically, in this kind of machine, the torque will be given by the third part, which is equal to this part. So in order to find torque in the cylindrical machine, we just use torque equal to IS IR DLSR over the theta. So just take third part only, which is, we know that in the cylindrical machine, the torque contributed by the alignment torque only. Alignment torque. So provided in this cylindrical machine, we must inject both current. The IS and R must be there. In order to generate torque in this particular machine, IS, we must inject IS and IR. So then it can create the alignment torque. Okay, now we go back to, okay, based on formula just now, we know that, say that LSR, which is mutual inductance, to M cosine theta. M is a peak value of the mutual inductance. Mutual inductance is changed based on theta waveform, so theta shape. Okay, then you substitute to the third part of question just now, then we know that torque equal to IS IR, differentiation of LSR over theta. And we can find that this one equal to minus or negative M IS IR sine theta. This is a basic equation for the torque generated in the cylindrical machine. M is, just now I mentioned, is the peak value of the mutual inductance. IS is stator current, IR is rotor current. Now depend, sometimes IS is a sine form. It can be sine or cosine form, depending on the what kind of current that we inject to this system. Now in this analysis, we say that both current IS equal to IS max cosine omega st, and IR equal to IRM cosine omega RT plus alpha. What is omega S? Omega S is the stator frequency. When we got the stator current, so the frequency of stator is given by the angular frequency of the stator current is given by the omega S, which is equal to 2 pi Fs. What is omega R? Omega S is the frequency of the rotor current. When the rotor current flow in the rotor conductor, it has frequency. So that frequency is say that is known as omega R. So alpha is the phase between, and the other important thing is theta. Theta is the phase between these two axes. So it's defined by omega mt plus delta. Omega m is a rotor angular frequency in radian per second. So these three different frequency, we need to differentiate it. The first one, omega s, represents stator. Omega r represents rotor frequency. Omega m represents the rotor speed, mechanical rotor speed in radian per second. Okay, if we multiply these three, M, IS, IR, and sin theta, then we have this one. Okay, torque to negative, IS max, IR max, M cosine omega st multiplied by cos omega sin theta or sin omega t plus delta, right? So if we say that it's a part A and this part B, then first you need to multiply cos and cos in part A using rules. Using rule like I show you later on. What is the rule for that? Yeah, this rule for cosine. Cosine multiplied by cosine, you got cosine x plus y plus cosine minus xy divided by 2, right? So we have to use this rule first, multiply cos by cos, and after that, multiply cos and sine. So this answer, multiply sine theta. So cos multiplied by sine, you have to use this rule then. Then we got sine and sine there. So that is how the process will take place. So we go back to here. Right, so back to here now. By doing that, first cos by cos, you got cos a x plus y plus cos a x minus y over 2, and then multiply by sin theta. By doing that, we have this term. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 terms now in the torque equation. Right. So if based on this equation, we see that the torque basically varies sinusoidally with time. When the time change, the torque also change sinusoidally. And average torque of each term here is 0 because sine t, omega t there. Unless the coefficient of t is 0 in that sinusoidal time. In order, if the coefficient of t here is equal to 0, then we got torque. We got non-zero torque in that particular system. Okay, so based on that, we know that in order to find non-zero torque, you need to equate all this one equal to 0. By that, okay, if you take the omega m plus omega s plus omega equal to 0, omega m minus omega s plus omega equal to 0, and this one, then we can have this kind of equation, where we know that in cylindrical machine, the torque we produce, the non-zero torque will be produced when the frequency of motor or the speed of the motor at this particular frequency. Meaning that if the frequency of stator plus frequency equal to motor speed, then the torque will be produced in that particular machine. And also if minus, we got plus and minus there. If omega s minus omega r, so if the motor speed operate at that particular speed, or the difference the speed between Ws and Vr, then we got torque also. Okay, so there is the torque will be produced in the machine with this condition, omega s plus omega r and omega s minus omega r. Other than that, when the motor speed other than this frequency, then the torque will be there will be no torque produced in that particular machine. Only two conditions only, plus and minus, and the sign there plus minus in front there represent the direction of motor lah. Where the motor rotate clockwise, you got plus. Or if the motor rotate anti-clockwise, minus. Right? Simple like that. Okay. So the first, we talk the synchronous machine. When the synchronous machine, we know that in synchronous machine, example, the omega r in the synchronous generator there, omega r basically is a DC excited system. They have DC current there. Okay, they inject DC current in the rotor side. So DC mean frequency equal to 0. That means omega r equal to 0 in the synchronous machine. So when omega r equal to 0, omega m equal to omega s. Omega m equal to omega. Then you can substitute this equation back to here. This one. Omega r equal to 0, 0, 0. Omega m equal to omega s equal to omega. Then we found that the torque will be, equation for the torque will be this one. For the synchronous machine. And based on this equation, we say that we found that the average torque in the synchronous machine will be given by ISM IRM over 2 sin delta negative. Okay, it's very simple. And if we for the single phase machine, if we substitute omega to 0 at starting, omega m equal to 0, then we found that the torque average will be 0. So there is no average torque produced in the single phase synchronous machine. There is no starting torque at omega m equal to 0. So what is produced in order to solve the problem, in order to get the torque? Then if the speed equal to motor equal to omega s, then the average unidirectional torque will be produced. So it's the different. So the motor does not have the torque at starting, okay. And when for the single phase motor, for the fully phase motor then bigger than single phase, the torque will produce whenever omega m equal to omega s. That's the second explanation. For the second case, in asynchronous machine, then we know that in asynchronous machine, the rotor speed is not equal to the stator speed. Omega m is not equal to the omega s. There are slip or slip speed, where we have omega 2 equal to omega s minus omega m, right? And we know that in the asynchronous machine, the rotor current is not DC current, it's AC current. That means they got frequency there. That means we have the omega r in the rotor part. So based on that, we know that again to back to this one, omega m equal to omega s minus omega r. Yeah, you can see that this formula here just now. Yeah, omega m equal to omega s minus omega r. Then we know that omega is not equal to 0. It has value. Okay, then omega m is not equal to omega r. It's impossible for the machine to have same speed. That means omega m will not same to the omega r. That means we have slip there. So if you substitute omega m equal to omega s minus omega r in that machine equation in this part here, then we can have this torque equation for the we substitute omega m omega s minus omega r into that general equation just now here. Then we can find that the torque equation given by these terms, and the machine produce average torque with this sine alpha plus delta multiplied by this term. That is an asynchronous machine. For the single phase system, for the single phase induction machine, asynchronous machine or so we call it induction machine. Okay, if we substitute omega m equal to 0 here, then omega s equal to omega r, right? So if we substitute omega s to omega r back to the previous equation, then we found that there is no average torque produced in the single phase induction machine. There is no average torque produced in the single phase induction machine. How we run the motor, single phase motor? Then we need to change from single phase to polyphase. For example, 2-phase, 3-phase, and so on. By having single phase, by having polyphase, then motor will have starting torque. And it will be able to start at starting. For example, in our shielding system in our home, we got shielding fan, and normally they put capacitor starter there. So by putting capacitor there, we change the system like that. So that means that when motor start, when we turn on the power supply, the machine already have starting torque. So the motor can start to rotate. Okay, later on in the example of the W system. Thank you very much for your watching.